My name is Travis Wild, and I'm a project manager here at FCR.
And I'm Jeremy Watkin, Head of Quality at FCR.
And today we're really excited to bring to you our new webinar series, FCR Solutions Spotlight. In this webinar series, we are going to bring to you a variety of different tools and companies that are making really interesting changes in the customer service sphere.
I've been reading this book lately called The Effortless Customer Experience, put out by the CEB a few years ago. In it, they talk a lot about customer effort and the fact that the more effort a customer has to put forth to do business with your company, the less likely they are to do business with your company. So it's all about reducing the amount of effort a customer has to put forth to do business with you. And one great example they give is of self-help. And think about when a customer goes to your website, they type in, search for an answer to a question, or they look on their website to maybe recover their password or pay their bill. If they can't find that answer, it's called channel switching, where then they either pick up the phone or go to chat support or send you an email to try and get an answer to their question to solve their problem. That channel switching is actually increasing the amount of effort the customer has to put forth to solve their problem. And that increased effort makes them less likely to do business with you. And I don't know about you, Travis, have you ever thought about the fact that that self-help is actually a support channel in and of itself? That was a huge revelation for me.
Yeah, I really didn't give it too much consideration. You're always looking at kind of where can you put your resources? So self-help is always something that you want to do, usually to help drive down costs, so that way you can focus on other areas. And so with self-help, it's actually something we've been seeing a large trend in all of our clients. Really, we're trying to move more and more towards where can we spend our quality resources of the high-touch contacts to be most efficient. And that's really where self-help can come into play. With the age and industry that we're in right now, the internet is everywhere. And because of that, a lot of customers are already programmed to go online and find things on their own. And the time it takes for you to go onto a knowledge base or frequently asked questions, type in those simple questions like setup, RMAs, etc., you can get your problem solved by the time you would even get to someone on the phone or an email responded. And so because of that, finding really beneficial knowledge bases that the customers can use is really an exciting time right now for us looking into.
Yeah, and you'll find, I think in any support department, you'll find that those top drivers of phone calls or emails, and a lot of those are kind of your low-hanging fruit. Oftentimes you can figure out, maybe this is something I could automate. This is a topic that if we had better documentation on our website, we'd cut down on those phone calls. And like you said, Travis, leave bandwidth for our agents so that they can deal with the high-touch issues that really should get to an agent. Yep. So with that being said, we have profiled a great technology. We have a demo for you of Nanorep. It's a knowledge base extraordinaire and really takes your self-help to the next level, makes that a really viable, exciting support channel. So we'd like to invite and introduce you to Chanan Friedman, the Director of Business Solutions from Nanorep. He's going to walk us through a demo of their product and show us some of the benefits. So without further ado, take it away, Chanan.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chanan Friedman, Director of Business Solutions at Nanorep. And today we'll be talking about bridging the gaps between customers and brands with digital self-service. I'd like to run you through a short scenario, and here we go. So a little bit about the world of self-service and how we see it today. We based our research on research done by Gartner, which says that by 2020, over 85% of all customer relationship with enterprises will be conducted without any human interaction. So no matter if today, most people are unlikely to return to a website that doesn't really provide a satisfactory customer experience, and even if most adults today in the U.S. don't mind waiting on the phone or online, digital self-service is sort of the wave of the future. Okay, so hopefully we'll all be ready for that. Bottom line is that during the age of the customer, the power is in the hand of the customer. Okay, so a customer can switch vendors at a click of a button, okay? And they expect a simple and effortless and personalized service, right? So customer experience as we see it today is a new loyalty currency. Hence, if automated experience basically needs to abide by the following rules. Okay, it needs to be simple, it needs to be effortless, and it needs to be personalized. Okay, and let me run you through a short scenario of a personalized self-service journey. Okay, so there's a guy named Bob, and Bob is preparing for a conference in DC called the CRM Evolution Conference. And by doing so, Bob wants to buy a new suit for the event. So he goes onto his favorite site called Madison Island, and he starts looking for a suit until he finds the suit of choice. All right, Bob is very excited. It's a fairly fair price for a Calvin Klein suit, and he decides to purchase and order this suit. However, somewhere down the line, Bob fails to receive his suit, so he decides to go back into the Madison Island app at this time, and he basically puts in a query that says, "I'm looking for my order." Okay, and what happens next? He can either enter it through a text or voice conversational interface on the bottom of the screen, and he can write it in any language. Nanorep will understand the intent behind the question and provide Bob with a personalized answer. Okay, and the answer is, "Hello, Bob. Your order from May 5th has been shipped on May 7th with the following tracking number." Great. All sounds good. Okay, so here too, Bob is greeted with a personalized answer. Okay, meaning same question could be asked by different people, and they would receive different answers. So Bob decides to leave his home in Seattle and travel to DC. However, he still has not received his suit. Okay, but by doing so, Bob needs to now change the address of the delivery. So he goes back into the Madison Island app, and he says, "How do I change my delivery address?" So the answer he got at hand was, "It's super easy. Just click on the link below, and we'll guide you through the process." Okay, so Bob clicks on the link, and there's a widget that opens up that says, "Select a different shipping address and enter it here." Basically, Bob here receives a step-by-step interactive guidance, okay, that basically takes Bob's hand and walks him through the process of changing the shipping address. Okay, walks him through all the way to completion. Still, Bob, is pretty frustrated with the whole process because he's in DC and he still hasn't received his suit, and the conference is tomorrow. So Bob chooses the most comfortable and convenient touch point at hand, which is the Facebook Messenger, and he goes into the Messenger and decides to chat with the brand called, obviously, Madison Island. So Bob says, "Hey, I still haven't received my jacket," and he's basically greeted with an automated answer. Okay, "Hello, Bob. Sorry for the inconvenience. Let me see if I can help. Looking into the matter, I'm transferring you to Madison Island agent, okay, by the name of Mike." Okay, so there's what's called smart channeling, where a query is basically entered into the system, and Nanorep can identify the urgency of the query and then channel the conversation to the agent with the specific skills to deal with this case. So in this case, there's a live agent. His name is Bob, and Bob is now taking over the conversation. So, "Hello, Bob. This is Mike." Okay. And the conversation goes on. "I can see that you have changed your shipping address to a hotel in DC. Is this correct?" So Bob answers, "Yes, but it's too late. I need it delivered now, straight to the main stage of the CRM Evolution event." Okay. Here now, Mike would transfer the query to the service bot that's in charge of the delivery. Okay, and this is all done seamlessly. Okay, so the delivery service bot name is Yaniv. Okay, I understand that it's an instant delivery. Just a moment while I get your confirmation. Okay, there's the confirmation number. Great, thanks. And the suit is delivered basically to Bob at the event. Okay, so just to summarize in short, what we've seen in this short synopsis, in this short scenario, okay, are the following things. The first, moving from left to right, is that Bob is able to ask questions naturally in his own language, okay? Nobody expects Bob to ask a question in article language, okay? But rather it needs to be in the same sort of language you would use while having a conversation with a person, okay? Where Bob just basically asks, I'm looking for my order. Okay, he doesn't say I'm looking for the suit I ordered. He doesn't have to write I'm looking for order and then enter the number of the order. Okay, but he can ask in his own words. The second is that Bob's answer is personalized, meaning if I were to ask the same question, I would not receive the answer that Bob would receive. The third is the step-by-step interactive guidance, okay, where there was a guidance that came on the screen and walked Bob through the process of changing the address at hand. The next is what we call smart channeling, okay, which is a conversational IVR system or a rule-based engine that enables the company to sort of determine how to interact with the brand or how to interact with customer service, okay, based on who the user is, maybe based on the question. If it's a high-value question or a low-value question, you might want to escalate that to call an agent and not necessarily chat with an agent. These are all things that are done through our system. And the last is the service bot, okay? It's an automated system that basically enables you to interact and have a conversation with a bot, okay? And they'll understand the intent behind your questions and sort of guide you in the right direction. So basically, Nanorep can be delivered at any touch point, at any screen, throughout any phase throughout the customer journey, from the mobile app to the help center on a website, to an agent console, and the list goes on. A little bit about the world of self-service and where it's going today. So up until today, we've seen that the world of self-service solutions has been human-assisted and technology-enabled, meaning self-service was at the top of the pyramid, fairly small significance, where companies would invest a lot of money in making their call centers more efficient, okay? And sort of focusing on the different KPIs. If it has to do with first call resolution or average handling time, a lot of technology and money was invested there. The way we see it, the wave of the future, is that the world is sort of shifting and the pyramid is being flipped upside down to a technology-assisted and human-enabled solution, where self-service takes the center stage here. And the support center is sort of the last resort, meaning it's agents can now free up their time to the higher value questions rather than having to deal with repetitive questions. And this is sort of what I spoke about earlier about making the agent more efficient now that he or she don't have to deal with repetitive questions. Okay, so basically Nanorep took the outside-in approach. Okay, all the questions that were asked throughout the customer journey are basically recorded into the Nanorep Business Console. Okay, so companies no longer need to guess what customers need or what they're asking. Rather, all the questions that are asked are recorded and then shifted into the Nanorep Business Console, where you can literally see, you literally see the questions that customers are asking in real time. So, like I said, you no longer need to guess. And what this essentially gives you is the direct correlation between interactions, between questions that were asked by customers and business results. Okay, which questions led customers to conversion, whereas which questions led them to churn. Okay, what happens when you come out with a new product? Okay, how do customers interact with it? Right? What questions are being asked around the product? Nobody goes and asks customers how they want to consume content. Rather, content is created through either research or best guess. So the bottom line is that you need to guess no more. So amazing experience brings amazing results, and these results the emphasis here is on the fact that even with large organizations and enterprise organizations, rollout these kind of projects is done in weeks and not months. Okay, and this is basically this basically happens because of our unique technology that's based on artificial intelligence and NLP, natural language processing, and basically you can start seeing results from day one. And the second advantage is that there's very little IT intervention involved in the process, and that's what basically enables us a fairly quick rollout. Thank you for your time. I hope this was informative, and please contact us, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Chanan.
Yep.
That was a great overview of the system. I have a couple questions for you, and I think Travis might as well. I'm interested in understanding. So in that encounter between Bob and Madison Island, how much of that encounter was artificial intelligence versus was there any human interaction in there, or was it all the Nanorep system?
So that's a good question. Well, the initial stage was done by Nanorep. And let's face it, Nanorep or any knowledge base doesn't have answers to all customer questions. So if Nanorep will identify that there's no question within the knowledge base, then we'll use our channeling engine in order to channel the question to the right agent with the right skills to take care of the case at hand. So there's sort of the handoff to the live agent, either through a live chat system or if it's the Facebook Messenger, or through just adding a number and enabling the customer to pick up the phone and call.
Excellent. And then another question for you. So as customer service kind of turns upside down over the next 4 or 5 years to more automated customer support, especially looking at Nanorep, where do you see the role of the customer support rep in building the system? What human responsibilities are there in tuning the system and managing it and making it as good as it can be?
So does that question relate to the support agent or to the content manager?
I think, I think more the content manager.
Okay, so as I presented a screenshot of the business console, basically, as you noticed, there were different tiles in the picture. And those tiles represent the questions that were asked by customers on the site. And if you'd like, I can bring up a live console if that'll help with the question. Would you like me to bring that up?
Yeah, that would be great.
So basically, you can see our tiles in different sizes. Okay, and each one of these tiles, well, the size basically represents a cluster of questions regarding the same intent. Okay, so if I clicked on where is the nearest theater, you can basically see. Hold on. Okay, or which shows are playing. You basically see that this question has two variations. One is which shows are playing, and the other what shows are playing. Okay, obviously I used which and what, but the intent behind the question is the same. I'm interested in knowing the shows that are playing at hand. Okay, the red tiles represent questions that were unresolved. Okay, meaning I want to book a trip, or what's the average delivery time. Okay. As a content manager, I'm able to fix the experience on the fly. Okay, so by clicking on this tile right here, okay, I'm given the option to either mute this question or fix it. Okay, by fixing this question, I'm then redirected to the content creation page. Okay, and on this page, I have a number of options as the content manager. I can either fish out information from the knowledge base. If Nanorep will offer me questions at hand, they would appear down here. Okay. But there are no articles in this knowledge base that answer this question. I can either link an external link or attach a file. I can add an iframe with an instructional video if I want to, or as a content manager, I can just add the text myself. So I can basically write, sorry, we do not deliver, okay? By clicking on publish, the next time this question would be asked, the answer would appear in the knowledge base. Okay, so if I would return back to the dashboard, okay, what's the average delivery time is now painted in blue. So the next time someone were to ask this question, they would receive that answer at hand. So as the content manager, the more people ask questions and the more red tiles I get, the more of the opportunity I have to improve the content and help the knowledge base scale and grow over time. This is a very powerful tool as far as user experience.
Excellent. That's a great view of that. So are you seeing, just as you're implementing this with various companies, that folks in traditional customer service roles are finding themselves in these positions where they're really helping to tune the system, answer the questions, and I guess becoming content managers.
Yeah, that's precisely so. Actually, there are a couple of interesting use cases in that matter. One is by one of our customers called Vodafone UK, a big telecom company in the UK. And about a year ago, they came out with the iPhone 6S, and they noticed that their sales were a lot lower than they initially expected. So they went to the console and they saw that there were many red tiles around the same sort of intent where people didn't know how to order the new phone. So by understanding the questions that were asked on the site, they were then able to improve the content on the website and make it easier for the customers to order the phone. And then instantaneously, in the matter of hours, all of a sudden the sales started escalating. So by understanding the difficulties that customers are encountering on your website through Nanorep, you're then able to constantly improve their experience.
Excellent. So I have one last question. What are in the various rollouts that you guys have done of Nanorep? I know you can do just a really robust searchable knowledge base. You can also do it in more of the Facebook Messenger or even a chat window format. What would you say right now is the most popular use case where companies are using Nanorep? Are they rolling it out on, to augment their chat and Facebook Messenger support, or are they more doing it as a traditional looking knowledge base?
So I think that it's a great question. It definitely depends on who the customer is and what sort of vertical they're in. Some customers would prefer the less intrusive sort of example. You can see it here within Intuit. I'm just going to log in. It really varies. So Intuit decided on the less intrusive solution, which is what we call the side widget. Will come up in a second, where it says help on the right side of the screen, and they're able to sort of ask the question within knowledge base and access the different FAQs. Or there's Toys R Us, for example, who've implemented it in their support center. So here too, you can ask any question that appears in the knowledge base, and Nanorep will understand the intent and provide a personalized answer. So you don't get any search results, but rather you get answers to questions. And I think the world is sort of going more and more towards the conversational side, okay, like the chatbot, where instead of asking a question and receiving an article, they sort of interact in a conversation and then receive an answer or receive a link in order to complete their task. I think the world of chatbots is still in its earlier stages, and it'll take time before more and more brands will start implementing it either on their site or within Facebook.
Excellent. That's a great example. So before we wrap up, how do people get in touch with you in the future if they're interested in Nanorep?
They can contact us through our website, which is www.nanorep.com. Just ask for a demo, and we'd be happy to jump on a call.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chanan.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Chanan, for a great demo of a really robust tool that offers a lot of potential to really take your self-help, your knowledge base, your customer experience to the next level. We really, coming out of that demo, Travis and I really had just a couple key points to think about as you move forward and potentially consider Nanorep.
Yeah, and so one of the points that we wanted to talk about was really efficiency and how the knowledge base and the AI and what Nanorep can do is really what you put into it. And so when we think about knowledge bases, the typical knowledge base has been a keyword search type algorithm. And what's really exciting about Nanorep is they use what's called natural language processing. And so a customer can put in whatever they need in their own language, and the system will interpret what they said and then put it into basically keywords and match it up with knowledge articles, which we really saw in the demo when you look at the different red and the blue tiles. And the other thing that's really exciting about Nanorep is managing it. And I know that might be kind of counterintuitive. Well, why is managing something exciting? It's the ease of use that is what makes it exciting, because managing and administrating any kind of database, there's all those different costs. And what's nice about this is the system will automatically flag what you need to be refining and what it can't associate for. So instead of needing multiple people to help manage it, you can do it with one or just a couple people, depending on how large your knowledge base is.
I think it's really, to your point, Travis, I think it's really a great opportunity for growth. We're constantly looking for career paths for our customer service professionals, and they're oftentimes the most equipped to answer these questions that your customers are asking. So it's a great opportunity for some of your stars on your customer service team. Another point that I had, just as you consider this technology, is to think about deflected contacts. That's one of the things Nanorep really prides itself in, and other tools like this, where you'll actually be able to reduce the number of phone calls, reduce the number of emails, chats, those contacts that go directly to a person. You can deflect some of those to a self-help channel, and there's real cost savings involved in that. So that's something to think about as you're adopting a tool like that and to track. And I think going forward in future solution spotlights, we'll talk about that as well.
So one more thing kind of too is with Nanorep, we want to kind of also make sure that everyone's aware that it's more than just a knowledge base, because it has the actual AI, the artificial intelligence, to start putting in workflows. And so what I mean by that is the entire first tier kind of conversations can all be handled by the knowledge base. So if someone's lost tickets, it can then search in your database system to find the tickets. It can start having that conversation and providing them updates like, where is my order? It'll automatically take their information and you can spit it back out at them depending on how you set it up. So that's another thing that's really advantageous with this particular tool.
Yeah, for sure. And going to the whole channel switching point that I made earlier in this talk, I don't know, depending on your customer service operation, you may or may not track first contact resolution or first call resolution. I'm talking about the metric, not the company. Or I've even heard someone call it future contact resolution. But if you're tracking this where you can see how many calls, emails, chats it took for a customer to get their issue resolved, you need to also factor this solution in as well. You want to see how often people are typing in their question in Nanorep, not finding their answer, and having to go to another support channel. And you want to see that go down. So that's another thing to consider as you're looking at this solution.
Great point, Jeremy. And before we end the webinar, I want to take a moment and really say thank you to everyone for watching our first webinar in the series of FCR Solution Spotlight. It really means a lot to us, and you can expect many more of these coming in the future as well.
And thanks again to Chanan for taking the time to share this with us, to share Nanorep with us. If you're watching this on YouTube or from our website, please don't hesitate to reach out to us with any questions. Leave us a comment on the post right at the bottom of this thing. And also be sure and connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and even on Twitter. Our handle is @OneCallRes. And we'd love to hear from you, and would love to hear your suggestions on future topics and technologies we should dive into. Thank you so much.
Thanks.